The angel of Sunday has been assigned to watch your house. Someone is coming who wasn't sent by God. It is Sunday. Not just another date on a calendar. Not just another morning dressed in quiet sunrise. This is a divine threshold, a moment split in eternity where the veil has thinned, and the heavenly realms lean closer. A shift has occurred, and only those attuned in spirit will feel it. The atmosphere may look ordinary, but what's moving behind the veil is anything but ordinary. This Sunday bears weight. It carries prophetic substance, and it comes with a message not everyone will understand, but you, child of the Most High, were stirred in your spirit because it was meant for you. Today, the heavens have dispatched watchers. Archangel Michael stands in command, sword drawn, vigilant, unmoving. But with him comes a lesser-known but no less powerful guardian, the angel of Sunday. This is not folklore. This is not mysticism. This is spiritual protocol. God has assigned an angelic custodian to your gate, your threshold, your home, because someone is coming. But not all arrivals are divine. Not every footstep toward you is holy. Not every knock on your door was sent by God. And what comes now carries consequence. This is not the kind of encounter that can be ignored. It must be discerned. You've been asking for clarity, and heaven answers in patterns. You've been sensing movement in the shadows, and now confirmation stands in the light. A presence approaches, familiar in form, subtle in tone, persuasive in nature. But it is not heaven-backed. It is not covenant-aligned. It is not assigned to your destiny. It's coming with a mask and a motive. The angel of Sunday sees it, intercepts it, guards against it. And this message, this warning, this sacred alert, is your permission to rise in spiritual authority and prepare your ground. Hear this. This word is not for the spiritually passive. This word is not for those who only operate by sight. This is for the ones who feel first, sense deeper, and live from the Spirit. This is a message for the spiritually sensitive, the ones who have been quiet in this season, but never asleep. You have known something was off. You have detected the shift. And now heaven confirms what your spirit already whispered. A counterfeit is on its way, but so is your protection. Stillness is your first strategy. Obedience will be your shield. Discernment will guard your peace. Do not run. Do not react. Do not respond prematurely. What comes to disrupt will only succeed if you step outside of alignment. But if you stay hidden in the Spirit, rooted in discernment, and shielded by truth, this visitor will pass by, and their access will be denied by the hand of the Almighty Himself. This is not to stir fear. This is to stir awareness. Heaven reveals to redeem, not to punish. What you do next is not just personal, it's prophetic. For God has marked your house, your atmosphere, your soul as sacred territory. And now heaven watches to see how you steward this holy moment. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. The angel of Sunday stands watch, not as a gentle figure of comfort, but as a sentinel of divine order, stationed at the perimeter of your dwelling, positioned by the will of God Himself. This is no ordinary visitation. This is divine intervention. A spiritual alert has been issued from the courts of heaven. You have been marked for a holy shield, not because of who you are in the eyes of men, but because of what you carry in the chambers of your spirit. There is a weight on your life, a divine assignment, and the heavens have dispatched surveillance to guard it. In the next 72 hours, something will try to cross the threshold. It will not come with thunder. It will not come with demonic howls. It will come looking almost harmless. It may wear a familiar face. It may bear a charming tone. It may arrive cloaked in opportunity, friendliness, or even spiritual language. But hear this, child of God, it was not sent by heaven. There is movement in the unseen. There are whispers among those who walk with secret motives. Someone is preparing to knock. Someone is aligning their steps toward your gate, your inbox, your mind, your emotions. But they were not cleared by heaven's counsel. They were not sanctified by divine purpose. They are approaching, but not by holy instruction. This is a disruption dressed in civility. This is spiritual infiltration. And Archangel Michael sends this warning not to stir fear within you, but to ignite preparation, to release insight, and to activate protection. You see, God will often allow a test to approach before a blessing is revealed, not to destroy, but to strengthen. The angel of Sunday is not idle. It is on post. And as this being hovers over your home, over your family, over your decisions, it watches not just for enemies, but for your response. Heaven isn't just protecting you. Heaven is training you. Because not all warfare looks like chaos. Sometimes it looks like comfort that pulls you backward. Sometimes it looks like an open door that leads to delay. Sometimes it looks like someone smiling, saying all the right words, but whose spirit is out of alignment with God's will for your life. Listen closely. Not everyone who knocks is holy. Not every invitation is sacred. Not every reconnection is reconciliation. The Spirit of God is sending this as confirmation. For days now, you have felt a peculiar unease. You couldn't explain it, but you knew something was off. Conversation seemed out of place. Messages carried strange weight. People you hadn't heard from in months started to resurface. That's not coincidence. That's not nostalgia. That's a spiritual trigger, and heaven just pulled the alarm. You are being guarded, not just from what could harm you, but from what could detour you. The assignment on your life is too costly. The oil on your head is too rare. You can't afford to entertain what God never sent. You can't afford to open the door to someone who is simply curious about your shine but blind to your sanctification. This is not their season in your life. This is your moment of stillness, of sacred recalibration. Hear this. Be alert. Be wise. Be still. Let the angel of Sunday do its work. Let it stand between you and the unauthorized. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to clarify your silence. You don't need to defend your decision. Heaven already has. Archangel Michael has drawn the line. Now it's your responsibility not to step outside of it. You are under surveillance from above, not in suspicion, but in divine affection. His warning is love. His message is mercy. This is spiritual protection disguised as revelation. Trust the discomfort. Trust the silence. Trust the sudden shifts. What you're feeling isn't fear, it's discernment sharpening inside of you. God is not just blocking access, He's teaching you how to recognize misalignment. The next 72 hours are not casual. They are sacred. Watch everything. Guard your emotions. Test every voice. And above all, listen more than you speak. For the angel of Sunday will only move when your obedience activates its authority. If you listen, you will see it. If you weigh, you will feel it. If you discern, you will rise above it. Let your spirit stand still. Let heaven fight. Let the unauthorized pass you by. Your protection is not in your power. It's in your posture. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. You felt it. You've tried to shake it. You've prayed it off, ignored it, worked around it, but it hasn't left. That strange unease. That weight sitting quietly behind your chest, like something watching from just beyond the veil. The timing of it all feels too coordinated to be random. You sense that eyes have turned toward you, not in celebration, but in calculation. The kind of attention that doesn't clap for you, but studies you. The kind of presence that doesn't cheer for your growth, but measures how close they can get without being noticed. Listen to your spirit. The subtle emotional disruption you've been feeling wasn't imagined. It wasn't drama. It wasn't overthinking. That was heaven whispering through discomfort. That was the spirit warning you before a confrontation appears in the natural. Because some confrontations don't come through argument or open attack. Some confrontations wear a familiar smile, speak kindly, ask about your well-being, but beneath the surface, carry spiritual contamination. You overheard things recently. Snippets. Sentences that you were never meant to hear. Phrases that felt like clues. Comments that gave you pause. You weren't eavesdropping. You were discerning. You weren't spying. You were receiving confirmation. God let your ear catch it. God let your spirit stir in the moment. Because what you heard in passing was heaven's signal. Pay attention. The ones who are drawing near, they know part of your story. They might remember your wilderness. They may have watched you bleed through the dark seasons. They may think they know how to approach you because of who you used to be. But what they don't know is your calling. What they don't recognize is your shift. What they cannot comprehend is how heaven has redefined you in silence. You're not the same. Your posture is different now. Your alignment is stronger. Your gates are guarded. And yet, there are those who feel entitled to your presence, not because of divine instruction, but because of past proximity. And they are watching your page, watching your updates, watching your moments of joy, watching your healing, watching your rhythm. Some are sizing you up, spiritually, evaluating your strength, testing your vulnerability. Not all are conscious of it, but the spirit operating through them is intentional. There are forces that recognize the oil before the person does, and when that oil begins to flow, it becomes a magnet, drawing both the sent and the unassigned. This is why you felt under pressure emotionally. Because your spirit is in the middle of a recognition war. The enemy sees what God is doing, and he's sending counterfeits to infiltrate what he cannot stop. Something isn't right. You feel it, but you can't fully explain it yet. That's because heaven often reveals through patterns before it speaks in full clarity. The strange messages, the awkward reappearances, the people you thought were gone trying to casually insert themselves again. The tension is not your imagination. It's spiritual nullification. Your discernment is heightening, and with that comes emotional deception. Don't dismiss it. This is heaven whispering before the confrontation appears. This is spiritual vibration before physical manifestation. The angel of Sunday is standing between you and this disruption, but you must stay aware. You must refuse to let your soul override what your spirit already confirmed. Be careful in this hour not to move by feeling alone. The enemy will always try to counterfeit peace with familiarity. But peace is not in who you recognize. Peace is in who is assigned. It's not that you're being paranoid. You're being trained. God is not revealing this so you'll isolate in fear. He's revealing it so you'll discern in maturity. There is strategy behind your discomfort. There is intention behind the mystery. And even now, heaven is shifting your emotions to keep your gates secure. Don't allow sentiment to sabotage your spiritual boundary. You are in the middle of a divine filter. Heaven is showing you what to guard, not what to grieve. Be still. Stay low. Stay aware. Someone is watching, but they won't get past the angel. They won't get past your discernment, and they won't get access to what God has sealed. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You'll receive exclusive prophetic messages, spiritual alerts, and weekly words just like this to keep you covered and prepared. Type "I am guarded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 333 is now activated. This is spiritual surveillance. This is not casual coincidence or circumstantial suspicion. Heaven has activated a watch over your life. What you feel isn't anxiety, it's awareness. What you're navigating isn't confusion, it's calling. Your house, your heart, your habits, they are being seen through the lens of heaven. You are under divine observation, not because you're failing, but because you're marked. Hear this clearly. You are not being punished. You are being proved. You are not overlooked. You are being observed with favor. You're in a spiritual protocol, a test, a check, a holy checkpoint that only the chosen are permitted to cross. And with that honor comes warfare. With that distinction comes disruption. Because your identity in the Spirit threatens the darkness still hiding in others. Your boundaries speak louder than your words. Your silence agitates unclean spirits. Your growth convicts the stagnation in others. You didn't pick this fight. Your anointing did. Your consecration did. Your refusal to settle did. And so now, the conflict intensifies, not because you're weak, but because you're close to something sacred. This is a divine chess game. Every move matters. Every decision holds spiritual consequence. This isn't about emotion. It's about alignment. This isn't about whether you like or dislike someone. It's about whether they were sent or not. Heaven is watching to see if you'll choose history or destiny. If you'll honor old familiarity or walk in fresh fire. You must decide not based on comfort but on calling. Even now, the unseen realm is watching your emotional reaction. The angel of Sunday isn't only guarding your home, it's evaluating your internal gates. Will you react in the flesh or respond in the spirit? Will you allow anxiety to lead you, or will you let discernment still you? This is the test. The visitor may come, but your posture determines their power. If you remain in spiritual position, they cannot enter. They may knock, but they will walk away confused, disarmed, and denied. You are chosen, not casually, not accidentally, deliberately chosen by God for such a time as this. That's why the resistance has been heavy. That's why the warfare feels personal. The attack didn't come because of your weakness. It came because of your worth. You are rising into spiritual stature, and every realm feels it. Every force recognizes it. Every counterfeit senses it. You don't need to announce yourself. Heaven has already done that. You don't need to prove anything. The proof is in your posture. You don't need to fight with flesh. The fight is in the spirit, and heaven fights with you. You are surrounded. You are covered. You are watched with intention. This conflict is a punishment. It's proof of placement. Heaven has positioned you, and darkness wants access, but it will not succeed. Not this time. Not with this level of maturity. Not with the angel watching over your threshold. You are guarded, and your obedience is the gatekeeper. So take your place. Stand in alignment. Watch in silence. Move when led. And let heaven expose, eject, and eliminate everything not assigned to your future. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now covering your house. Heaven sees what man hides. Before the thought was formed, before the route was planned, before the message was typed, heaven already knew. Someone is preparing their approach. They are studying your gates. They are surveying your mood. They are choosing their moment. But they did not consult heaven, and they carry no divine instruction. They are planning to come close, but they are not authorized to come near. Heaven saw it first. In the next 3 days, the atmosphere around your life will shift. You may not notice it at first with your eyes, but your spirit will alert you. The wind will feel different. The tone of communication will shift. Something will be offered. An invitation may arise. A message may appear. A knock may come, but it is not what it seems. The closer it comes, the more your peace will feel agitated. Not because you are weak, but because the presence is foreign. It does not belong. It has not been cleared by the courtrooms of heaven. Do not be deceived by its appearance. It may look like opportunity. It may sound like reconciliation. It may come disguised in spiritual language, cloaked in phrases like "God told me" or "I was thinking of you." But God says, "I did not send it." His presence is not from the throne. This interaction is not from my spirit. This was not birthed in prayer. This was not designed in glory. This is a detour, a distraction, a delay, packaged in sweetness, but hollow at its core. They are not coming to build. They are coming to blur. They are not coming to cover you. They are coming to consume you. Their interest in you is not rooted in love. It is born from curiosity, control, and confusion. And heaven says this with urgency: you are not to entertain what I did not send. This is your moment of holy refusal. You have the right to say no. You have the right to guard your peace. You have the right to close the door. The angel assigned to this Sunday does not negotiate with unauthorized spirits. It guards. It blocks. It warns. And now, it has warned you. Listen closely. The test isn't whether they show up. The test is whether you will let them in. Whether you will lower your guard because they sound familiar. Whether you will ignore the unease just to be polite. Whether you will sacrifice your alignment on the altar of obligation. You do not owe access to someone simply because they are persistent. Not all persistence is divine. Some persistence is predatory. Heaven says, be still. Stand guard. Let your yes be rare. Let your no be final. You don't need to fear. The angel is watching. The Spirit is speaking. And if you stay within your spiritual boundaries, no intrusion will prosper. But if you second-guess your discernment, if you give what's sacred to what's unclean, you may delay what heaven is releasing. Someone is plotting. Someone is aligning. But their timing does not match God's timing. Their motive is not heaven's mission. They are coming with curiosity, but curiosity has no covenant. Do not open your spirit to what has not been purified. You are not their rescue mission. You are not their emotional dumping ground. You are not their fallback option. You are holy ground. You are heaven's investment. You are guarded territory. So when the message comes, pause. When the call arrives, test it. When the visit is requested, delay it. Let the Spirit speak before you move. Let the angel confirm before you agree. This is not just about a conversation. This is about spiritual transfer. What you allow in your gates will affect your next elevation. And heaven says this clearly. You are too close to breakthrough to fall back into bondage. You are too close to clarity to entertain confusion. This isn't just a person showing up. This is a spiritual attempt to derail destiny. But this time, you will not fall for it. Type "I am untouchable" in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 777 is now securing your threshold. Now that heaven has spoken, stillness must rise in you. Not silence birthed from fear, but stillness forged in wisdom. This is your spiritual posture. Unmoved, unshaken, unprovoked. Heaven's strategy for this hour is not confrontation. It is consecration. You win by refusing to engage emotionally. You war by withholding access. This battle will not be fought with volume. It will be won through obedience. Speak only when the Spirit instructs. Move only when the Spirit prompts. Your emotional silence is not weakness. It is warfare. Your lack of response is not passivity. It is divine resistance. The angel of Sunday has drawn a boundary. Now you must honor it with your lifestyle. You cannot afford to speak loosely. You cannot afford to move prematurely. Every reaction will be evaluated. Every word you release will carry weight. So guard your mouth. Guard your movement. The Spirit says, create sacred space. Let your home become a sanctuary again. Anoint your doors. Anoint your devices. Anoint your sleep. Let your environment reflect your awareness. Keep your atmosphere still. Let worship replace worry. Let quietness become your covering. You are not alone. The angel is with you, but your stillness is what activates its full authority. In this hour, heaven is honoring restraint. Your silence invites intervention. Your stillness releases strategy. The more still you remain, the more violently heaven moves on your behalf. The enemy thrives on reaction. Don't give it to him. He wants you emotional. He wants you rattled. He wants you defensive. But you have grown that version of warfare. Now, your sword is stillness. Your weapon is wisdom. Your covering is obedience. There is a reason why the enemy is pressing so hard. It's not just about you. It's about your gatekeeping role. You're the intercessor. You're the covering. You're the threshold that keeps your household aligned. And if he can breach you, he believes he can breach your environment. That's why heaven's guidance is precise. Stay hidden in plain sight. Remain where you are spiritually assigned. Let your name be unspoken. Let your presence be protected. Let the Spirit move without your interference. This moment requires holy discipline. This isn't about proving anything. This is about preserving everything. Don't announce what you're doing. Don't explain why you've pulled back. The right ones will understand. The wrong ones were never meant to. Your obedience in silence will echo louder than any argument. Let the angel of Sunday handle what approaches. You don't need to convince. You don't need to confront. This isn't your fight. This is heaven's assignment. And heaven has already declared, they will not pass. You only need to maintain alignment. Your job is not retaliation. It is reverence. Stay reverent. Stay watchful. Stay quiet. And understand this. You are not waiting for danger to pass. You are waiting for destiny to rise. This season isn't about hiding in fear. It's about protecting what's about to be birthed. The child is coming forth. The mantle is being transferred. The gate is being sealed. And you are at the center of it all. So hold your peace. Guard your gate. Say in posture. Your stillness is not just for you. It is intercession in motion. It is warfare through worship. It is heaven's answer wrapped in obedience. Type I am still in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 9911 now shields your house with divine silence. You are not who you were. That version of you. The one they remember. The one they studied. The one they assumed would stay wounded and reactive. That version no longer exists. Fire has touched your life. Trials have refined your voice. Warfare has matured your discernment. Heaven has processed you in silence, and what has emerged from the ashes is no longer accessible to those who once held casual access to your soul. You are not bitter. You are better. Not hardened, but whole. You no longer crave validation from those who misunderstood your depth. You no longer seek connection with those who only saw your wounds but never your worth. The shift is spiritual, not just emotional. What's happening in you now is a sovereign separation. It is not rooted in arrogance. It is not pride. It is heavenly preservation. There is a new fire in your posture. A quiet fire. A righteous confidence. And that fire is frightening to those who once manipulated your softness. You've outgrown the traps. You've outgrown the cycles. You've outgrown the role they assigned you in their narrative. You've come into identity. And now, the game has changed you. The angel on your porch is not just guarding your house. It is reflecting your authority. That angel did not arrive because you are weak. It was assigned because you have become a threat to the plans of hell. You carry oil now. You carry weight in the spirit now. You carry influence in places you haven't even stepped into yet. And heaven is guarding what's about to be revealed. This storm that's swirling near you, it's not punishment. It's promotion in disguise. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't ascending. The darkness doesn't provoke what isn't divine. You're being targeted because you're being trusted. God trusts you to pass this test with dignity, with stillness, with power under control. You are a gatekeeper of generational blessings now. And gatekeepers don't flinch when shadows pass by the fence. They came expecting access. They came assuming entry. But they didn't know who they were dealing with anymore. They didn't know what you survived. They didn't know how long you stayed faithful in the wilderness. They didn't see the midnight prayers. They didn't see the secret tears. But heaven saw. And heaven has rewarded you with clarity, strength, and holy detachment. Now you walk in boundaries that were built by fire. Now your no is anointed. Now your silence speaks in tongues. You don't explain anymore. You don't beg for understanding. You don't chase closure. You don't chase anything that refuses to carry covenant. The enemy is frustrated because the old traps don't work anymore. The old patterns don't trigger you. The old names don't pull you. The old connections no longer fit the frame of your elevation. You've stepped into prophetic precision. You've matured into spiritual sovereignty. You understand now that not everything that returns deserves a reply. Elevation is not loud. It's not flashy. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it shows up as sacred stillness. Sometimes it shows up as divine distance. And sometimes it shows up as a visible boundary that confuses the familiar. Let them be confused. Let them wonder. Let them approach and be denied by the angel. Your role is not to comfort the unassigned. Your role is to guard what heaven is growing inside of you. This moment is not about keeping old connections. It's about securing new dimensions. You are on holy ground now, not because of who surrounds you, but because of who covers you. Let them knock. Let them assume. Let them try to navigate your gates. The angel already knows what heaven has decided. You are covered. You are sealed. You are shifting upward, and this time, you're not looking back. Type "I am elevated" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 8855 is now surrounding your destiny. This moment was not random. It was scheduled. It was preordained. It was divinely timed by the Sovereign One who sees the end from the beginning. You're not just under pressure. You're under prophetic fulfillment. What's happening now is not chaos. It is confirmation that the heavens are shifting you into a greater alignment. Before every elevation, there is a test. Before every throne, there is a Gethsemane. Before every unlocking, there is a visitation, not to elevate the intruder, but to expose the motives around you. That's why this person is approaching now. That's why the unassigned is moving toward your gates. God permitted the attempt, not to confuse you, but to reveal the counterfeit. There was no divine intention for them to re-enter, but there was divine allowance for them to try, so you could see who would show up uninvited. Heaven's revelation is exposure, not rejection. Heaven is answering your hidden question, God, who is really for me? And now, the veil is being pulled back. Now, the truth is standing at the edge of your property, at the edge of your emotional gates. Do not mistake this as coincidence. This is prophetic timing. You've been growing. You've been evolving. You've been shifting. And the spiritual realm is aware. Hell is not confused about your identity. It knows exactly who you are. That's why this distraction was launched. Not to destroy you, but to deter you. But it will not succeed. Heaven's eye is upon your household. Heaven's gaze is fixed. Nothing, not one word spoken in the dark, not one plan made in secret, not one thought formed against you, has gone unseen. The angel of Sunday stands on high alert, and the Lord of hosts has drawn a line that cannot be crossed. This is the moment of your unlocking. The tension you feel is the pivot. The pressing you feel is the doorway. What looked like confusion was really a spiritual test of perception. Will you follow peace? Or will you follow familiarity? Because now is the moment when everything pivots. Your destiny is shifting. Your story is turning. And heaven is watching your response, not your reaction. It is watching your posture, not your performance. And heaven says this clearly. You have passed the test of silence. You have passed the test of discernment. And now, I shall move on your behalf. Let them come. Let them knock. Let them call. And watch how heaven ejects the unauthorized. Watch how heaven cancels what was never meant to be. Watch how God confirms that your no was holy. Because the name they forgot, the name they mocked, the name they erased from their circle, that name has been written in glory. Heaven has etched your name into the scrolls of destiny. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. This isn't isolation, it's preparation. The intruder is the indicator that elevation is here. If this message is confirming what your spirit has been sensing, consider giving a super chat or a super thanks. With a contribution of just $20, you help us continue sharing prophetic insight and spiritual empowerment for such a time as this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, You can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay connected to prophetic messages, spiritual strategies, and divine insights that will keep your spirit aligned and ready. Type "I receive this shift" in the comments if this word was yours. Blessing Code 2020 is now unlocking divine clarity over your life. Declare it now, not with hesitation, but with holy fire in your bones. Only what is sent by God may enter here. Let that be the banner over your door, the decree over your soul, the shield around your family. You are not living reactively anymore. You are living prophetically. You are not waiting to see who shows up to decide who belongs. You are commanding the atmosphere to honor divine alignment. What once entered freely will now be sifted. What once was welcomed without wisdom will now be stopped at the spiritual gate. For you are not just a vessel anymore. You are a gatekeeper of purpose, a guardian of legacy, a steward of generational breakthroughs. Heaven is calling for alignment, and alignment is not passive. It's powerful. Your yes to God is not just a personal choice. It's an activation. It moves angels. It silences devils. It reroutes every false plan that once thought it had access to your life. Every act of obedience, no matter how small it seems, plants seeds for your next level. When you say yes to stillness, yes to obedience, yes to purity, yes to discernment, something breaks in the spirit realm. Chains you never even saw begin to fall. Doors you didn't know were locked start opening. Atmospheres shift in your favor. Let this truth resound within you. Your alignment is your authority. You don't need loud prayers to shift the heavens. You need a heart fully surrendered. You don't need external validation. You need internal alignment. And when your yes to God becomes louder than your need for closure, for explanation, for revenge, or for understanding, then destiny begins to accelerate. The enemy wants you distracted because destiny requires focus. He wants you offended because destiny requires purity. He wants you tired because destiny demands strength. But now that you've seen the pattern, now that you've discerned the spirit behind the disruption, you are rising with strategy, not survival. You are moving with vision, not reaction. This is where you break cycles with your decision. You are not repeating the past, you are redeeming it. You are not carrying old weights into this new gate. You are stepping through, cleaner, clearer, and more called than ever before. Don't second-guess this moment. Don't hesitate. Heaven has marked this Sunday, this holy threshold, as a divine reset. The clock has turned. The wind has shifted. The rhythm of your life is being recalibrated. The invitation is simple but costly. Obey. Even when it's lonely. Even when it doesn't make sense to others. Even when it costs you access, connections, comfort. Obedience is never wasted. It always returns with more than you gave. God will never ask you to release anything unless He's preparing to trust you with something greater. You're not losing. You're being lifted. You're not missing out. You're being made ready. The delay was divine. The detour was protection. And now, your yes is becoming a portal to your next. Do not give soft permission to what God has loudly rejected. Do not rationalize the presence of the unassigned just because it feels nostalgic. Nostalgia is not the same as destiny. What once brought comfort may now cause compromise. Let your soul be subject to your spirit. Let your boundaries be guided by heaven's blueprint. You don't have to understand every detail, but you do have to trust the direction. The angel was assigned to your house not just to block, but to launch. This is not just about guarding your peace. This is about preparing your platform. You're entering the stage of divine manifestation. God is aligning voices, resources, and visibility to match your level of spiritual maturity. Don't abort this assignment by giving time, emotion, or energy to what was not sent. It ends here. The cycle ends. The attack ends. The confusion ends. Not because you're louder, but because your spirit is now in full agreement with the will of God. This is your moment. Declare it again. Only what is sent by God may enter here, and everything else must bow. Everything else must flee. Everything else must crumble before the authority heaven has placed upon you. Type "I am in alignment" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now releasing angelic reinforcement over your next steps. There's something happening that you can't see, something sacred, something sealed. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not obvious. But it is sovereign. Behind the veil of your natural life, there is a silent exchange taking place in the spirit realm, a divine transaction happening on your behalf. The angel of Sunday isn't just watching, it's negotiating. Heaven is rebalancing the scales. What was stolen is being tracked. What was wrongly given is being revoked. What was mocked is being marked with new glory. Every tear you cried, every hour you fasted, every time you obeyed even when it hurt, those were not unseen. They were currency in the spirit. They were deposits into a heavenly account. While you mourned in silence, angels wrote your testimony. While you walked away from chaos, heaven recorded your restraint. While you denied access to the unassigned, heaven opened vaults reserved only for the obedient. There is a book with your name on it. There is a scroll in heaven that holds your yes, your war, your worship. And even when people forget, even when they question you, even when they walk away, the Spirit doesn't. Heaven never forgets what you suffered to stay aligned. And now the ledger is turning. The record is being settled. What you lost is not lost. It's being rerouted. What was delayed was not denied. It was stored until your spirit could carry the weight of the release. You've been trusted in the shadows, and now heaven is building the platform for what must be revealed. You don't have to chase vindication. You don't have to explain what was taken, because heaven has tracked every moment. While they plotted, heaven preserved. While they planned their access, God sealed your gates. And now, this exchange is happening quietly. No announcement. No audience. Just you, your angel, and the courts of heaven. And what's being transferred now is irreversible. Your house is becoming an embassy. Not just a residence. An embassy of glory. A headquarters of intercession. A protected zone where demonic assignments are canceled before they begin. Your threshold is guarded. Your name is covered. Your sleep is holy again. This is not just restoration. This is transformation. You're not just getting back what was taken. You're being upgraded into something you never imagined. This is the fulfillment of every hidden seed. Every night you sowed in faith. Every boundary you honored, every time you stayed silent when insulted, it all counted. And now the exchange is complete. Angels are not just fighting for you. They're releasing scrolls, prophecies, and spiritual promotions on your behalf. The people don't need to see it. The world doesn't need to understand it. This was never for them. This was always about you and God. About your lineage, about your children's future, about your legacy. What is being restored isn't just emotional peace, it's generational authority. So let this moment humble you. Let it root you. Let it ready you. The quietness around you isn't punishment. It's the reverent hush of heaven handling your name. The storm came, but the house stood. The visitor approached, but was denied. And now the reward flows, not in noise, but in knowing. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are being honored by the Spirit in silence. Let this exchange continue. Let the angels do their work. Your job is simply to remain in agreement. Keep your atmosphere holy. Keep your spirit quiet. Keep your heart tender. And the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. Type "Heaven is moving for me" in the comments if you know this moment was meant for you. Blessing code 4411 is now activating supernatural return over your life. They came to the wrong house. They knocked on the wrong door. They strategized their entrance, polished their story, calculated their words. But what they failed to discern was that this house is no longer vulnerable. This house is no longer spiritually open for counterfeit access. This house, your house, hath been sealed by divine authority. The presence of the angel of Sunday was their first and final warning. They didn't know that what they approached was no longer the dwelling of the old you. They weren't aware that what once was accessible is now holy, consecrated, fire-tested, spirit-filled, off limits. And now justice is moving. But not the kind of justice that screams. Not the kind that needs to prove anything in public. Not the kind that seeks revenge through the flesh. No. Heaven's justice is quiet, precise, final. There will be no courtroom argument, no back and forth, no justification. God is not going to consult with the enemy about your vindication. It has already been settled in the heavens. Those who plotted against you, those who approached with hidden motives, those who whispered in corners thinking God wouldn't see, they are about to learn that heaven watches in silence and strikes without warning. Every word they spoke against you will fall to the ground. Every scheme they formed in darkness will collapse under its own weight. Every plan to manipulate, distract, delay, or invade, it is being reversed. Their steps were monitored. Their thoughts were read. Their movements were tracked. And now the divine reversal is in motion. They can expect to have access, but now they walk away confused. Not because of anything you did, but because heaven denied their entry. The angel didn't need to fight them physically. The spiritual seal over your life was enough. It told every dark force, "You shall not pass." This is holy ground. This is covenant territory. And what belongs to God cannot be claimed by counterfeits. You won't need to fight this battle. You won't need to correct their lies or plead your case. The reversal will speak for itself. Those who tried to sabotage you will witness your elevation. Those who tried to pull you into emotional entanglement will now watch you soar in peace they can't understand. And those who assumed your silence was weakness will soon realize it with the sound of divine confidence. God is a righteous judge, and his rulings are not delayed. When he declares something sealed, no man, spirit, or scheme can penetrate it. The enemy came too late. The warfare came too late. The drama arrived after you had already crossed into maturity. They rehearsed an approach to a version of you that no longer exists. You are not the prey this time. You are the protected. What the enemy meant for evil, God has flipped for your establishment. Not just for your protection, but for your promotion. Not just for your safety, but for your legacy. The very attempt to infiltrate your gates became the reason God elevated your status in the Spirit. They tried to mark you with confusion, but God marked you with clarity. They attempted to trigger your old emotions, but God responded with angelic warfare. They knocked, But the angel answered, "Let it be known in the unseen realm, this house is sealed. His vessel is untouchable. His soul has crossed over. His territory belongs to the kingdom." The angel of Sunday is not passive. It doesn't just observe. It enforces. It activates divine consequence with precision. And now it has moved. Justice is here. Heaven has ruled. Reversal has been set in motion. Let them speak. Let them question. Let them retreat. For what they thought would destabilize you has become the very sign that you are ascending. Your peace is your proof. Your silence is your sword. Your stillness is your sign that heaven has taken over the case. If this word confirmed what you've been walking through, consider showing your support through super thanks or super stickers. Even a gift of $5 or $10 helps us continue delivering powerful prophetic content like this to more people who need it. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe now. Stay aligned with these messages and be equipped weekly with divine strategies and prophetic instruction. Type "Divine Justice is Mine" in the comments if this word reached your spirit. Blessing code 6611 now executes full reversal over your life. Now breathe in this truth. You are covered. Not just observed. Not just guarded. But wrapped in divine assignment. You are appointed, not by man, not by preference, but by heaven's own decree. And you are being watched, not in fear, but in favor. Watched by angels. Watched by the Lord of hosts. Watched by divine witnesses who have recorded every sacrifice, every surrender, every silent prayer. The assignment of the angel of Sunday is not ending. It remains. It remains because the work is not finished. The sealing over your house is not temporary. This was not a weekend visitation. This was a heavenly installation. You have become territory. You have become sanctuary. You have become embassy for the Spirit to dwell. Your home is now a checkpoint in the Spirit, a place where heaven meets earth. Let the truth settle deep into your soul. What God has sealed, no man or spirit can infiltrate. No former connection. No toxic return. No spiritual spy. Nothing that was not authorized from the throne has permission to stay. The angel will guard your threshold. The Spirit will dwell within your walls. Peace will be your atmosphere. And righteousness will be your covering. You have been processed, pressed, and proven. You did not fold. You did not retaliate. You stayed in posture. And because of that, heaven has responded. Now walk in that truth. No more second guessing. No more delays rooted in old emotions. No more trying to explain your boundaries to people who were never meant to understand them. This is not the season to be accessible. This is the season to be anointed and assigned. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Sent with clarity. Sent with courage. Sent with protection. You are not walking alone. The angel of Sunday walks with you, forward, not backward. Toward purpose, not distraction. Into destiny, not delay. So rise now. Not just in faith, but in fire. Rise in holy awareness. Rise in spiritual discernment. Rise with the certainty that you've been chosen for such a time as this. Let this be your final declaration. I am watched by heaven, guarded by angels, and sealed by God. This is your final word. This is your activation. This is your confirmation. Let it echo in your soul and rest in your bones. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if this entire message was for you. Blessing code 7777 is now established over your home and future.